Hey everyone, ready for another deep dive? Today we're going exploring India's Republic Day.
Ooh, sounds fascinating.
And trust me, you're going to want to stick around for this one. It's so much more than just a date on the calendar.
Oh, I believe that.
We've got some amazing sources lined up. They really give us a feel for this celebration. I'm talking about the history,
Okay.
the cultural energy, even how it echoes around the world.
Yeah.
You know,
Wow, yeah.
it's pretty cool.
I'm excited.
Me too.
So, what's so special about Republic Day then?
Well, maybe you can kick us off here. You're the expert after all.
Right. Well, what's captivating about Republic Day is that it's not just a holiday, it's more like
Like a statement?
yeah, a powerful statement. It marks the day India adopted its constitution.
Way back in 1950.
You got it. It's like the whole nation came together and said, this is who we are, this is what we stand for.
That gives me chills. It must have been an electrifying moment in their history.
I bet.
And our sources paint such a vivid picture of how it's celebrated today.
Oh, how so? There's this incredible parade in New Delhi on this grand avenue called Rajpath.
Rajpath.
Have you ever seen pictures?
Oh, yeah. It's truly a spectacle. A real blend of military might and cultural vibrancy.
I can just imagine.
Each state showcases its unique traditions, and you even get a display of India's technological advancement. It's all part of this symbolic procession.
Wow, so it's not just a celebration of the past, but like a peek into their future, too.
Absolutely.
And get this, the theme for 2025 is Golden India Legacy and Development. Pretty profound, right?
Definitely. It suggests this beautiful balance between honoring their rich heritage while constantly striving for progress. So acknowledging where they've come from and where they're headed.
Yeah, it's like that perfect mix of looking back and moving forward.
Exactly.
And speaking of heritage, one thing that really struck me in these sources is how Republic Day showcases India's unity
Oh, yeah.
amidst its incredible diversity. It brings together people from all backgrounds, right? Different languages, cultures, religions, all celebrating this shared identity.
That's the key aspect, isn't it? Think about how powerful shared celebrations are. They foster a sense of community and belonging, you know?
Yeah.
It's like a reminder that despite our differences, there's something bigger that unites us. And in India, a country with such an array of cultures and traditions, that unity is all the more remarkable.
It's inspiring, for sure. And get this celebration isn't confined to India's borders. Our sources mention that Indians living abroad organize their own events.
Really?
Yeah, they share their culture and heritage with the world.
Wow, that speaks to that deep connection people have to their homeland. You know, that feeling of belonging that transcends geographical boundaries.
For sure.
Republic Day becomes this global moment of unity and national pride, a reminder of their shared roots and values.
So cool. Okay, ready for a fun fact?
Hit me with it.
Did you know the Indian Constitution is the longest in the world?
No way.
I'm talking over 117,000 handwritten words.
117,000. Wow. That's incredible. Can you imagine the dedication and meticulousness that went into drafting that document?
It's mind-blowing.
It took 4 years to complete.
4 years.
Yeah, and it's a testament to the complexity of creating a system that governs such a diverse nation.
It makes you realize that creating a democracy isn't just about, declaring independence. It's about the painstaking work of defining rights, responsibilities, and a framework for a just society.
Absolutely. What a legacy.
It certainly is. And that's what makes Republic Day so much more than just parades and celebrations. It's a day to reflect on the foundations of their nation, the principles they hold dear, and the ongoing journey of upholding those values.
Beautifully said.
Speaking of journeys, our sources also delve into India's relationship with Nepal, a neighboring country with close ties. It's interesting to see how Republic Day provides a backdrop for exploring their diplomatic landscape.
Yeah, Nepal holds a special place in India's foreign policy. There's a long history of cultural exchange and economic cooperation between them. And in recent years, we've seen high-level visits and agreements that suggest a commitment to strengthening those bonds.
That's really interesting.
It is.
But, like any relationship, it has its complexities, right?
Of course.
The sources mention some ongoing border disputes that add another layer to the narrative.
Oh, absolutely. Despite the strong cultural and economic ties, there are geopolitical issues that require careful navigation and diplomacy. It's a reminder that international relations are rarely simple.
True. It makes you appreciate the delicate balance that countries have to strike between cooperation and addressing points of contention. And speaking of recent developments, our sources focus on the visit of Nepal's foreign minister to India back in August. Her meeting with Prime Minister Modi is being seen as a positive step. It signifies a willingness to engage in dialogue and work toward resolving outstanding issues. It'll be interesting to see how this unfolds in the context of Republic Day and the broader relationship between the two nations. I'm definitely curious to see where things go from here. This deep dive has been fascinating so far. We've gone from the vibrant celebrations of Republic Day to the complexities of India's relationship with Nepal. And what strikes me most is how this one event offers such a multifaceted view of the nation.
It's a reminder that every country has its own unique story, its own set of challenges and triumphs.
Yeah.
And sometimes it takes an event like Republic Day to truly appreciate the depth and richness of that story.
Absolutely. You know what I'm really intrigued by? This idea of India and Nepal working together despite their differences. What are some of the specific areas where they're finding that common ground?
Well, it's fascinating to look at the sheer range of areas where they collaborate.
Oh, yeah.
Our sources mention everything from managing shared water resources
Oh, okay.
to boosting trade and transportation links. They're even partnering on healthcare initiatives,
Wow.
infrastructure projects, and educational programs. It's quite a comprehensive list.
It sounds like they're tackling some pretty fundamental areas essential for the well-being of both countries.
For sure.
But what's the overall tone of their relationship? Is it genuinely friendly, or is there an undercurrent of tension?
That's a good question. And I think it speaks to the complexity of any close relationship, especially between nations.
Right.
The sources definitely highlight the friendly and cooperative aspects. They use phrases like good partners
Okay.
and emphasize their shared cultural heritage.
Yeah, sure.
But as we discussed earlier, the border disputes are a reality that can't be ignored.
Right. Those disputes definitely add a layer of complexity.
Yeah.
What are some of the key sticking points in those border disagreements?
Well, the sources specifically mention regions like Kalapani and Lipulek as areas of contention. These are places where the border demarcation isn't clearly defined, leading to overlapping claims and heightened tensions in recent years.
It makes you realize that even with strong cultural and historical ties, geography can throw a real wrench into the works. So how are they trying to resolve these border issues?
Well, from what I gather, both sides acknowledge the need for dialogue and diplomacy. They've held several rounds of talks, trying to find a mutually agreeable solution.
Okay.
That's a slow and delicate process.
Right.
But it seems like there's at least a willingness to engage.
Well, that's encouraging to hear. It's better to be talking than not talking at all, right?
Absolutely.
And it sounds like the recent visit by Nepal's foreign minister and her meeting with Prime Minister Modi are signs of continued effort to keep those lines of communication open.
Exactly. High-level visits like that are crucial for building trust and understanding, even if concrete solutions don't emerge immediately. It's about signaling that the relationship is important and that they're committed to working through the challenges.
So, amidst those geopolitical complexities, there's still this underlying current of cooperation, particularly in the economic sphere. Our sources mention a pretty significant agreement related to electricity.
Oh yes, that's a key development.
Tell me more.
India has committed to purchasing a substantial amount of electricity from Nepal over the next decade, something like 10,000 megawatts.
Wow.
It's a major investment that highlights the potential for mutually beneficial economic partnerships.
That's huge. And it seems like India is also increasing its financial support for various development projects within Nepal.
That's right. They've pledged to double their direct funding for projects in sectors like infrastructure, education, and healthcare. It's a clear indication that they see Nepal's development as being in their own interest as well.
It makes sense. A prosperous and stable Nepal benefits the entire region, including India. So despite the challenges, it seems like there's a genuine commitment to fostering a stronger partnership.
I think that's a fair assessment. It's a dynamic relationship, for sure, with its share of complexities and opportunities.
Yeah.
But what stands out is the recognition that collaboration is key, both for addressing shared challenges and for unlocking the potential of the region.
It's interesting how our sources highlight the role of the private sector in strengthening those economic ties. There's mention of a joint committee formed to boost trade and investment.
That's a crucial aspect, isn't it? It's not just about government-to-government agreements.
Yeah.
This committee brings together business leaders from both countries
Okay.
to identify opportunities for collaboration, share expertise, and make recommendations. It's a recognition that economic growth often flourishes when the private sector is actively involved.
I like that perspective. It's not just about top-down initiatives, but about creating an environment where businesses can thrive and contribute to the overall prosperity of the region.
Precisely. And it highlights the potential for businesses to play a vital role in building bridges, fostering innovation, and creating a more integrated and prosperous South Asia.
And speaking of prosperity, our sources point out that economic progress in Nepal could have a ripple effect on the entire region. They mention some major infrastructure projects that, if completed, could be game changers.
Yes. Projects like the Pancheshwar Dam,
Okay.
Uran 3, Upper Karnali, and the Koshi High Dam are all highlighted as having the potential to transform Nepal's energy landscape and boost its agricultural productivity.
So they're not just talking about incremental improvements, they're envisioning a scenario where Nepal achieves self-sufficiency in key areas like energy and irrigation.
Exactly.
That's incredibly ambitious.
Imagine the possibilities.
Wow.
It could lead to increased economic activity, job creation, improved living standards, and greater stability in the region. It's a vision worth striving for, even if the path to achieving it is complex and fraught with challenges.
It really underscores the interconnected nature of development, how progress in one country can create positive momentum for its neighbors. Now, shifting gears slightly, I found it fascinating how the sources describe the recent meeting between Nepal's foreign minister and Prime Minister Modi.
Oh, yeah.
They emphasize the remarkably smooth and accessible nature of the encounter, which apparently isn't always the norm in such high-level diplomatic settings.
That's a really interesting observation.
Yeah.
It suggests that India places a high value on its relationship with Nepal,
Okay.
and that there's a certain level of trust and rapport between the two leaders. That kind of personal connection can make a big difference in facilitating open and productive dialogue.
It's a reminder that diplomacy isn't just about formal agreements and negotiations. It's also about building relationships, understanding perspectives, and finding common ground. Sometimes a seemingly small detail like the ease of access in a meeting can be a sign of a deeper shift in the dynamics of a relationship.
Absolutely. And it's a positive sign that the communication channels seem to be open and functioning well between India and Nepal. It creates a foundation for addressing challenges and working together constructively, even when there are disagreements.
This deep dive has really been an eye-opener. We've gone from the vibrant celebrations of Republic Day to the complexities of India's foreign policy, and it's all connected.
It's fascinating how one event can offer such a multifaceted lens through which to view a nation. We've explored the historical significance, the cultural vibrancy, the aspirations for the future, and even the intricacies of navigating relationships with neighboring countries.
It's been a journey of discovery, not just about India, but about the interconnectedness of our world and the importance of understanding different cultures and perspectives.
And it's a reminder that we live in a world where staying informed, engaging in thoughtful discussions, and embracing the diversity of human experience are more crucial than ever.
It's amazing how much we've uncovered just by looking deeper into India's Republic Day. Who knew a single event could hold so much significance?
Well, it's a testament to the power of symbols and celebrations, I guess. They can act as focal points for reflection, discussion, even for a deeper understanding of a nation's identity. Republic Day encapsulates so much of what India represents: its history, its cultural tapestry, its democratic values, its aspirations for the future.
And it's been really enlightening to explore India's relationship with Nepal through this lens. You know, we've seen how even amidst complexities like border disputes,
Right.
there's this underlying commitment to cooperation
Oh, yeah.
and a shared vision for regional progress.
It's a reminder that international relations are rarely black and white.
True.
There are always nuances, shared interests, and points of contention that need to be carefully navigated. But what's encouraging in the case of India and Nepal is that they seem to be actively engaged in dialogue, seeking solutions that benefit both nations.
Yeah, definitely. One thing that keeps coming back to me is this theme of unity and diversity, which seems to be at the heart of Republic Day. It's such a powerful message, especially in a world that often feels increasingly polarized.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that our differences don't have to divide us.
Yeah.
In fact, they can enrich our collective experience and make us stronger as a society. India's ability to embrace its incredible diversity while fostering a sense of national unity is a valuable lesson for the world.
And it's inspiring to see how that message resonates beyond India's borders.
Oh, absolutely.
With people of Indian heritage celebrating Republic Day all over the globe. It speaks to the enduring power of culture and identity to connect people across geographical boundaries.
It's a beautiful example of how shared values and traditions can transcend borders and create a sense of belonging that extends far beyond a single nation. It's a reminder that we're all part of a global community, interconnected in ways we may not always realize.
This deep dive has been so much more than just learning about a specific event.
I agree.
It's been a journey of expanding our understanding of India, its people, its values, and its place in the world.
And it's reinforced the importance of curiosity, open-mindedness, and a willingness to engage with different perspectives. The more we learn about the world around us, the more we appreciate its complexity and beauty.
So as we wrap up this exploration of India's Republic Day, I'm left with a sense of wonder and a renewed appreciation for the power of knowledge and understanding.
And I hope it inspires you to continue exploring, asking questions, and seeking out diverse voices. There's a whole world out there waiting to be discovered, and each deep dive we take brings us closer to understanding its intricacies.
Until our next deep dive, keep those minds curious and keep exploring.